Okay, hello everybody. I think, yep, there we are. There's everything. I think we are live. Oh, I know we are live. I see everything. There's the YouTube link. We are going to continue to hunt for Gibble. I think... okay. I think that Gibble is probably... It's going to be the hardest of the two hunts that I have left. So... I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to it. And then go after Carvana, who won't take nearly as long. I hope everybody had a good New Year's Eve yesterday and a good start to the year this year. Had a good time yesterday after I got off stream. My wife and I had basically chicken parm and then some snacks a little later in the night. I played Assassin's Creed 2 and she chilled on her computer, so we had a good time. I hadn't played through Assassin's Creed 2 in a while, so it was fun to kind of get to do that. But yeah, we're back on this. Legend ZA Complete Run. We're gonna see what we can get. And then exit. I think I've done about all I can do. These two outside ones. Yeah, that's the only problem with Gibble is he just doesn't spawn enough. See, I don't think I'll use Machop on my team. I've already got Lucario and I've hunted pretty hard for Riolu, so I don't think I'm going to have another fighting type. Nummel wouldn't be bad. I won't use Excadrill again. And Sandile is one of my favorite Pokemon, so using a Crocodile won't be too bad. Make sure everything's set the way it should be. I know the game audio is probably a little louder today. I turned it up while Sammy was streaming. Drop that just a hair. Oh.
You stole my chair.
It's because it's warm.
His chair's warm too.
Well, yeah, but his chair has your warm.
I'm gonna fight him.
My boy decided he wanted his mama's chair, so he's a little spoiled at times. I don't know how that happened. Nothing's spawning in the middle. It's like I'm only getting 2 middle area spawns. don't have anything else really close by to snag for this as far as a fly spot. Yeah, that sounds like you were losing the fight. Well, good. I might have to leave this area for a bit to see if the spawns come back to the middle like they're supposed to. There's usually 5 or 6 in the middle. Okay, what I'll do, can't fly to Area 10, but I can't go to Shutter. So I'll go over here, I'll hunt Carvana for just a little bit, see about resetting that zone. I think it's pretty funny, I hunted a member of my original team here too for a while. Okay, let me go through. I need to catch everybody that's in here. Yep, that's what I wanted. Worked, I guess. So. Let's see. Time mode. Here, finish grabbing all the items. And head Force Dance, Flash Cannon, Rockslide, Thunderbolt. I do need Thunderbolt here pretty soon. And that trick is kind of useless without it. I didn't realize he was a special attacker. R block the other one. Not what I meant to do. Okay, so our block was here. Oof. Okay, so Wild Zone 10 is done. Just gonna reset the area for a little bit. Yeah, those guys went to slowpokes. Okay. Go back to 8 here in just a couple of minutes. So if I get to a point where I don't really have a lot to say during this stream, I do have a page about the third. It used to be a history feature. I loved history my entire life, so I figured I'd pull up something random and talk about that for a bit. Just to sort of keep myself engaged a little bit so I don't go into autopilot. Troopa is staring out the window. Love how I said window just now. It's very possible that she's out there. Cats went outside on his own. Yeah, Mom let magic in. So after I get my other two shiny teammates, we'll do some dex completion, side quests. I'll go ahead and get turns tonight. I'll go ahead and get my challenger's ticket. Try to stay ahead on that, so that way yeah, so I'll try to stay ahead on challenger's tickets. And after we get these shinies, we'll be plugging ahead for the most part. Go for another minute here, and then I'll go back to 8. Do this, and then go back to 8, because that's the main one I want to focus on. Troopa, you better go into the bedroom so you can talk to Momo. Better go, bud. Need to do a quick run through here, see if we got anything. And then we'll go back to 8. Okay, yeah, I wasn't here long enough to really activate anything, so... 8. Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting very many spawns in here. That's about right. Before we do that, let's go down to Rancine Construction. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna get one of the oops, I didn't mean to go into Rancine. Got the travel spot, so I guess that's good. I don't have enough. I was gonna get one of the green. Because I thought I had enough screws. Leave me alone. Okay. Now I'm less likely to get cleaned out, which is good. Just in case there's a alpha numeral right as I walk in. Okay. exit out. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll have to check as many dirt spots as I can. Yeah. And I've got the Croc Rock as well to contend with. Out we go. Yeah, this is definitely a dangerous zone. 17 is still worse, but... Yeah, the Alpha Hounding is pretty rough. I think that's 6. Yeah, because of that's where the Veneries are. Okay, got the first ad break. I'm gonna run that and keep hunting. Well, if number one camera weren't so slow, they would definitely be good additions to the game. The only issue, again, is their speed. I think speed matters more in this game than it does a lot of games. Moves work. I'm trying to think of Pokemon I haven't used that are available. Because I mean, I want to use Garchomp and Sharpedo regardless, but they've both been on previous teams. I can't think of really any Megas that have the typings I want that I haven't used. Like, even if I had access to, say, a Swampert right now, I'd use Swampert on almost every journey through Hoenn that I've done. So it's Swampert, Garchomp, Camerupt, Groudon. Not a whole lot of ground type megas that I can think of. Two in the middle now. I don't know. I wonder if it's because they are all following this gate. That's why they spawn. Single gibble in that pass. Let's keep resetting. Wish more of the spots spawned in when I flew. I was just flying over and over again. So I got what I needed, but I don't get enough of the spots spawned in. Oh, got Jack Diddley in the middle that time. Hi, Magic. Now, yeah, sweet. I know. Oh, the drill. Sybil's gonna be the rare spawn. Huh.
Do you have more children?
I have 8.
You have both of
Oh, I have both of them.
them.
I did not realize Liddy was in here. Hi, Mom.
He's like, no, I don't say hello. There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm still. It's just you I'm talking to, so.
Maybe tomorrow. What's Friday? Tomorrow Friday? Maybe play some. Oh wait, we're gonna go.
Yeah. Which I'm still probably gonna stream. I'll just do it earlier.
Maybe tomorrow play some.
Yeah. I have to be in a real specific mood for Mario Kart. Now, for some reason I'm not getting anything for spawns in the middle. I'm getting like 1 or 2 spots.
She keeps going.
And it's And this is rubbing on my leg. Yeah, I got one spawn in the middle just now.
I mean, sometimes I'll get them on the outside.
No, because when I first came here, all of them were in the middle, so that's why originally I was going to do just the middle. And then when I started doing the middle, there was hardly anything spawning here. You could have been shiny. Hi.
Is that good?
Yeah, I actually didn't need my back scratched, but I'm not going to say no.
I know you won't. I started scratching the back and went, whoop.
I learned it from watching Magic.
Me.
And you and Troopa and... I have no idea. Now I'm not. First one. Oh, yes! That's what I'm working on. I do have a team of yellows, don't I? Okay. Oh, he's not gonna go anywhere. Go with 30. Hyper potions, super potion. Hey, Gibble. Okay, so gonna run the next ad. I'm gonna go start hunting Carvana. Yeah, I'll get that for you, babe. Richie, what level can I catch up here? Okay. 40, okay, so I won't be able to catch the alpha. Smelt cardona. Huh. Sammy, is there any chance I can get a little snack? Oh, okay. Oh, boys. Hey, Mandy. So I don't think I had any phases on the kibble. That's actually kind of wild. Kind of expected to phase at least once. That's about right. Magic has the zoomies. I didn't realize when I was choosing this team that it was such a yellow team. Which once Gibble evolves, he's not yellow anymore, but and same Carvana, he's yellow-ish originally. Or he has a fair bit of yellow on him originally, and then he turns purple, so. I might have used Alakazam on this playthrough, but I really wanted to have at least one of the new DLC megas on my team, so. I think Meowstick is only one I can get before the post game. That is a lot of alpha cat rats. Watchhogs. I was also considering Mega Slowbro for this run, but again, Meowstick was the best option, because I haven't found the Lucario Z on my main file. So I might just be using regular Lucario for 90% of this. Ah. Okay, here in about 9 minutes, I'm going to halfway point break. Get up, stretch, get some water, go to the restroom, all that good stuff. So just keep trying to get Carvana. If I wanted to wait one more split, I would try to get Froakie, because using Greninja, I don't want to torture myself that badly. Also, kind of think if Grandpa wasn't so late in the game, I probably would have hunted him too. That's really late in the game to add a teammate. It's one that when I first saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool, but it's definitely one that I've started liking a lot as time has gone on. Oh man, that's a lot of alphas. Still surprised by how quick that gets. Well, I'm going to use that as an opportunity to real quick take my my break. Let me pause real quick. Yeah, I'm going to run the ads. I'll be back here in about 2-3 minutes, something like that. Okay, we're back. So, back to Area 10 to keep hunting. Thank you for the reminder. I'm going to mute for just a second while I finish up my midstream snack, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I forgot to unmute myself. Oh, there you are. I don't know where you were yelling at me from. Troopa. Yeah, he was underneath me. Every so often I like to swing back and see if that PG is shiny. I don't know if the entrance is close enough to... I bet it is. I bet I pop these guys every time. Yeah, it probably is popping those guys. Shutterbug, stop. And maybe that Watchhawk. But the... junk. Those watchhogs, it's not. Trooper, you can come up to the other side and look. Got there, I guess. I'll reset. I'm not really counting. Just sort of doing it until I feel like going and running through real quick. Yeah, I don't really have a set number. I will reset again even if I am ready to go through if there's an alpha slowpoke right by the entrance. I don't need that sort of negativity in my life. I can get KO'd by the other alphas just fine on my own. I forgot about the Pidgey on the other side. Hello, Big Snake. Okay, so those guys on the far side aren't respawning every time anyways. I've been trying to think if there's any other Pokemon that I want to use that aren't type overlaps, but all newer megas that come to mind are all type overlap. Hey, bud, I guess I'll lay down somewhere. Okay, we got the next set of ads coming up. I'm going to run those and keep hunting. Yeah, I was trying to look and see if there were any other megas that I wanted to swap in anywhere, and there's not any that I can catch now that I would. I would maybe change out Pidgeot for Staraptor. Bless you. Bless you. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, so let me get my Twitch back up on my phone. Still see my chat. Okay, there's that. Okay, so I had mentioned earlier that I was gonna talk some history. I pulled up 30 Years' War because it's something that I studied a bit, but I didn't remember a lot of the details. It was sort of broken into a couple of different parts. Ferdinand II, who was King of Bohemia and Duke of Austria, wanted to kind of impose Roman Catholic rule on what was a largely Protestant area of the Holy Roman Empire, and that sort of led to a fight, the start of it. And then Denmark tried to take some land and lost, and then Sweden came in after having beaten Poland. Poland lost to Russia in the war they were fighting. Poland kind of turned in and came after Sweden. So it was sort of a largely framed as like a religious struggle, but then you also had the usual, like, the Habsburgs in France feuding. That was kind of a big thing. The Netherlands was starting to break free at the time from Spain, and that was an 80-year struggle between Spain and the Netherlands. It sort of had the 30 Years' War encompassed in it. And it kind of changed the structure of Europe, really, in a lot of ways. It weakened Spain quite a bit. They lost a lot of their prestige during that time, which just sort of led to their gradual decline as time went on. Sweden had control of kind of the area around the Baltic Sea. Netherlands was recognized as an independent nation. Parts of the Holy Roman Empire became municipalities. And it was sort of the start of itself as states, independent countries. As independent, not ruled necessarily by one emperor and ruled by the Pope because of the Reformation. So the 30 Years' War really set the stage for the second half of the 1600s on into the 1700s. Britain wasn't really involved, short of just probably helping against France, which was their sort of gimmick at that point. But mostly it was Poland, Sweden, Spain, France, and the Holy Roman Empire, because Spain and the Holy Roman Empire were often together because of the Habsburgs, who is. So yeah, just sort of, it was literally 30 years, as long as you don't count the Netherlands versus Spain stuff that lasted way longer. Let's go in and do a check real quick. Yeah, it's an interesting one because by the mid 1600s, the Holy Roman Empire had already started declining a bit, and it would kind of cling to life over the next 100 years. 150-ish years, it would be gone by 1805. It was sort of limping along during the 1700s. When Austria became a bigger, separate entity, Prussia started rising in the northern part of the Holy Roman Empire as their own entity. Prussia would ultimately be what created the modern state of Germany. And again, the Netherlands becoming independent, that would lead them into a lot of different colonization. They would be the ones to found what is now New York City, Amsterdam. So, and then a lot of their like Southeast Asian holdings that would be important during World War II were sort of, this was sort of the start of that for them. As far as I remember, it wasn't really that important in terms of like the history classes we would have had in high school. Because we didn't take like European history, and in the world history classes, there were other things going on in that period that were more important than a detailed description of the 30 Years' War. I taught it in some of my classes because it was something interesting to me, something that I could actually care about teaching a little. But yeah, so I learned more about it in college when I took a European history class. Western civilization from 1066 to the present, I think, was the class. So the first half was ancient history to early medieval, and then the second half was early medieval to the modern era. So yeah, it wasn't one that was necessarily in just a regular high school class. Yeah, that was one thing I always tried to do, was teach more, varied stuff than what was necessarily covered in the standards that we required to teach. I'd made sure to hit the important stuff that they needed for testing, which both the tested subjects were US history, so history classes, it was more or less, just whatever I wanted, as long as I could show why I was teaching it. There were too many hoops to jump through as a teacher, though, and Sammy, you know that. Anyone who might watch the VOD of this in the future, if you're thinking about becoming a teacher, just know a lot of red tape. You kind of have to be careful. It might be better at dealing with that kind of structure than I am, but I always felt like I was being kind of hamstrung more than I was being allowed to just make sure the kids learned something. So, yeah, because of games like Medieval Total War and Empire Total War, learned more about things like the 30 Years' War because they were important to some of the setup of those games. Honestly, if I had the space on my computer, I think Empire Total War would be back on there for a bit. But the early modern era is one that I know more about now than I used to. So that would be like the kind of 1402 to 1800s time period. Because I had a lot of games that fell in those time periods. Come in, I think it spawns these guys back here. Let me see if... Okay. Let me go up and check the Arbok. Yeah, and so it depends on the games, you know, because like Assassin's Creed is got a lot of pretty accurate historical stuff. Total War games are decent about their history. They've gotten better over the years about historical accuracy. Civilization isn't necessarily the most accurate game, but it has a lot of accurate history in it. So, you know, we play a fair few good historical games. Anything that plants a seed in my mind and gets me interested. Yeah, historical fan fiction's a great way to look at it because it's got all the like, oh, this is what so-and-so did, and this is what this wonder is, and here's how this civilization operated in real life. But you also get to say, oh, well, instead I want the Japanese to be first nuclear power, which I've done on several occasions. I've also played as the Netherlands, been allied to everybody, and had an atomic bomb I couldn't use, so I just dropped it on myself. Because I was done with the game anyways, so... yeah, it's like Dynasty Warriors getting me into sort of Romance of the Three Kingdoms stuff from Chinese history. Games like Shogun Total War and... oh my gosh. There was another game, and I cannot remember what it was called. It was on PS2, and Jeff and I played it all the time. But it was, you know, based in Japanese history, and so I learned a bit about Japanese history because I wanted to, you know more about that game. I can't remember what the hell it was called. But yeah, Age of Mythology, that kind of ignited my interest in Greek and Egyptian mythology, and Roman, but you know, if you know the Greek mythology, you know most of the stories of Rome. So I need to get the Egyptian mythology remastered that they have at some point. Events like the 100 Years' War and Reconquista in Spain, I know a lot about those because of Age of Empires. You know, there's a couple of campaigns of some of those events. I did just think about it. I hadn't played Crusader Kings in a little while. Might need to do that at some point. When I step in to check these guys, to get right to the edge here for those guys to spawn in. Okay, I've got the next ad break coming up. I'm going to run that. It's falling over the city. Like heck it is. Yeah, I really enjoy Civilization 6, but I miss Civilization Revolution. It was a mess of a game, but it was so much fun. Yeah, playing as Lincoln and going against like Catherine the Great or anytime I saw that Alexander the Great and Gandhi were on the map together, I usually just restarted. Because I think that version of Alexander the Great was a little chaos demon. Oh, here you go, Gandhi. Here's democracy. Have fun. And all of a sudden you have Gandhi on the warpath, marching around the map, killing everybody. That is one thing I like about all the DLC and stuff that came with Civ 6 is that it added so many different leaders. I don't think I've ever reinstalled Civ 6 on my Switch after I made the changeover. I might have to do that at some point. Yeah, that's what usually happens on games like that when you don't play them for a while. You end up forgetting what you were doing. I don't like starting new games on strategy games usually because it takes me forever to kind of get things up and running. But once I get them up and running, I really enjoy them, right? So it's one of those things that anytime I start a new Crusader Kings game, for example, sort of like the mid game is a lot of fun. I don't ever want to start there because then I feel like you miss out on a lot of the early stuff that might be helpful. But yeah, so you kind of have to start at the beginning because there's a lot of the wonders that are really good. And it's the same with Crusader Kings. I hate starting out because it takes me forever to get my economy up and running to where I can actually afford stuff. It's usually the end of my first ruler's life or about midway through my second ruler's reign that I really start getting my money going. Yeah, I'm going to need to play Crusader Kings. I've been playing Supermarket so much. And then this. I've been playing this a lot too, so. I think one of the funniest things about Civ Revolution was that you could sometimes the game would act weird when you got the tribal villages and still be like most of your soldiers would have muskets and the tribal village would give you a tank. And it's like, okay, that's slightly broken. Yeah, right. They're like, oh, this is just some old junk we had laying around. Here you go. The most extreme version of that is always going to be Empire Earth. I hadn't talked about that game in a while, but either you would advance super fast and you would end up having atomic bombs and stuff before the other factions even get out of the Bronze Age, or you would get nothing going whatsoever and be getting attacked by fighter jets and stuff. It was a wild game. It said game balance. I never met her. Yeah. It was fun, but like it would also crash so much. Like it was not a great game, honestly. I mean, it would be funny to, see a guy riding around on a horse getting shot at by a fighter jet, but no. So Wooloo is from Age of Empires 1, the priest on Age of Empires 1. Yeah. Age of Empires 1 is fun. It was obviously the first one, so it didn't have a lot of the quality of life stuff that 2 would have. But, getting to play as like the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Assyrians, Babylon, like it was a fun game for what it was. Yeah, Age of Empires 2 and Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds are the best of that kind of era of those games. Yeah, they had another one. I don't know if you ever played Empire at War. It was sort of like the next kind of. It wasn't the same style of game as Galactic Battlegrounds. It was more, I guess, advanced is the way to describe it. But that was always a lot of fun. You play as either the Empire, the Rebels, or a pirate gang. Definitely not going into Zone 10 right now. Yeah, Battle for Middle-earth was always fun. The second one was always better than the first one, though. And then Rise of the Witch King. Yeah, Rise of the Witch King was fun too because it gave you sort of like the Angmar storyline. I'm not sure why it's not popping up the reminder about your YouTube channel. So if you want to drop your YouTube link in the chat, Sammy. For some reason it's only doing mine. It's doing it very sporadically. I'll have to look at the timing on that. yeah, so there's my YouTube link, Sammy's YouTube link. She has all of her art on hers. She has her Roller Coaster Tycoon VODs, her Stardew Valley VODs. If she does Supermarket Simulator, those will be on there. Mine has all the Nuzlocke I've done, the Shiny Badge Quest, the Professor Oaks. This run, my first attempt at Legends ZA. It has some old streams that I did directly on YouTube. So there's a lot to watch on both of our channels. Spawn these guys over here too. Yeah, I also think if the computer didn't slow down to a crawl when I played it, I'd probably put Total War 3 Kingdoms back on my computer too. That one was a lot of fun. My Steam library is a bunch of multiplayer games that we play with the group and a bunch of strategy games. Yeah, if EA hadn't lost their license to Lord of the Rings, I would have Rise of the Witch King and South Mode 2 somewhere where I could play them. They're so hard to find though, and I don't know if there's any like emulation options for those kind of games. Yeah, Icewind Dale 2 was always fun. I liked the party building aspect of that one. Neverwinter Nights I think was a better game, but Icewind Dale had the party building. Like, it was always just so much fun to have, a variety of different characters and stuff. I hadn't played through Neverwinter Nights in forever. I've got the PS4 version, and then I've got the version on Steam as well that I bought years and years ago. Yeah, the voice options on Icewind Dale 2 were so funny. Yep, I do love me a good strategy or role-playing game. I guess that's why Pokemon works so well for me. It is a role-playing game and it does have the collecting element that I tend to like. I always wish we had gotten a Mass Effect version of Halo ODST, which was the Halo real-time strategy game. I've always wanted a Mass Effect version of that. Yeah, a Mass Effect RTS would be super cool. A Dragon Age RTS would be super cool. Dragon Age for sure has enough factions to make a good, solid RTS game. I mean, Mass Effect does too, because you have all the different mercenary bands and the Reapers, Brogan, and pretty much every race could be its own faction. Yeah, I mean, it'd be sort of like Galactic Battlegrounds, the Rebels, etc. Yeah, the Hanar would be the main faction, and then the Drell would be a unit of that faction. Sort of like the Volus with the Turians. Since the Volus are technically a client race of the Turian. Blending into that building. Oh, man. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left. I'm gonna reset until we have about 2 minutes left, and then I'll do a quick run through the area. We'll see if we get lucky and get Carvana right here at the end. If we do, then tomorrow's stream will be strictly story progress. And I'm not going to evolve Carvana or Gibble until they've done at least one battle. Gibble's ready to evolve, but I'm not going to do that until they each had one battle. Let me use that ad. Sandy, if you can, come in here and look at Peanut. She's face down.
Face down, fluff up.
Yeah, I just had to wake him up. He was doing a big twitch. Two of those cold hands.
It feels warm.
Not cut me though. Okay, I'm gonna do one quick run through the area, and that should just about get us to time. A magic. You're in the air.
things for dinner, and the kitty cats.
More treats tonight.
Rip.
I'm gonna run through the other side real quick. And that'll be it for today. Got Gibble, that's wild in and of itself. So let's save. I doubt I have anybody to raid, but I might. I don't. So thumbnail. Yes, thumbnail. Give me just a second. Aha! You are. Okay. Awesome. Now I'm going to save again. And I will see everyone tomorrow at the same time. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'll probably continue this. But I might decide to play something else. Who knows? But anyways, hope everyone has a good evening. Good rest of your Thursday. A good Friday. And I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a good one.